welcome back to my channel. Today is the first video I'm filming in this kind of series, which is going to start being like missing persons / solved cases or unsolved cases, and I am just really into this kind of thing. I watch these videos literally like every chance I get. Like, I've even stopped watching makeup videos because I have become so obsessed with these. And I just feel like there's so many cases out there and so many that don't get covered and stuff like that, and that need to be publicized. And you know, really, like, we just need to like get these people home. So that is what I would really like to start doing. It's not going to be the only thing my channel does, but it is going to be part of my channel. These videos are going to be like more laid back, you know, in like pajamas and just kind of, I guess, more like ranting style. Like, I've researched these people, read pretty much every article there is on them, or like, you know, at least this particular girl so far, and I was going to be, you know, spreading what happened and what to look for, theories of what happened, things like that. So if those are the kinds of things you guys like, please subscribe and like the video. If you have other people you want me to be doing it on, please remember I'm gonna try to be sticking to smaller cases as I can, and starting off with more local cases as well. You are more than welcome to email me or message me on any of my social media, comment here, anything like that of anything you want me to look into. So without further ado, let's get started. So Caitlin Marie Denison went missing on January 10th of 2018. She was 19 years old, but recently would have turned 20 this August. And I think that that's important because there was actually one article that said she was 25, and that's not true. Like, I actually went to high school with her. I know that she's younger than me. So yeah, she was 19 at the time, 20 now. I can absolutely confirm that. So in January of 2018, Caitlin messaged her family, or told her family, that she was going to be traveling to Midland, Texas, which is in western Texas, with a man that she had just met. She did not reveal their name or anything about them, how she met him, nothing, and that was pretty much it. The last thing that anyone had heard from her was she texted her sister Rachel and said that this man makes me scared for my life. That was the last thing I ever heard from by Caitlin, and that was a chilling thing to get, especially as a sibling, to receive that kind of message, especially after your sister just went, you know, halfway across the country, and then for her to be like, oh my gosh, I'm scared for my life. Like, I would be just totally freaked out if I got a message like that from my sisters. So the thing that's really kind of scary about Caitlin's case is it has been, you know, 10 months now, or no, 9 months. Yeah, so it's been 9 months now, and there's really like no information on it, which is crazy. The one thing that I am pretty happy that they've done is actually listed her as a missing person, and it's like an endangered missing person is what she's like listed as. So that to me is like super important, because there is so many times where when young adults are missing like this, that it is just assumed that they're runaways and they don't put a lot of work into them or anything like that. Like, the fact that she's labeled as that, like, helps so much. And then if, like, you know, God, I hope not, but if something like happened to her and they, like, you know, found a body somewhere, then at least they could match her, because I have seen so many cases recently that you know, they found a body but the person was never actually, you know, in the missing person database, so then they never got like matched to their body, and that just breaks my heart. The Texas DPS and Midland, Texas police are the ones that are actually investigating this, and they haven't found much. I thought it was kind of interesting that they got on a plane, and then in different articles they say that they don't know what flight they got on or anything, but I think that just doesn't make sense. Like, it's 2018, like, the airport here is like, it's not a big airport, but like, it's an international airport, like, you know, but there's plenty of cameras, things like that. Like, they would have been able to see Caitlin arriving with this man, seen them go through security together, you know, they scan your IDs, they do all this stuff. Like, They know who she left with, and I don't know why that hasn't been publicized. I don't know why that man hasn't been found. He hasn't been interviewed. Like, no picture or anything of him has been released. Like, they have to know that kind of stuff. Like, you see this young girl, and, you know, the man may have been older, the man may have been, you know, her same age, but you see them together. You see their IDs get scanned. You see who's on the plane tickets. Like, you see them walk onto the frickin', like, the little frickin' area that you get onto the plane at. Like, there's footage of this stuff, and they've never let her family look at that. They've never, like I said, released who this man is, and I think that's really, really sketchy. Like, especially, like, as a missing person, you think that they just look into that, and that, like, really bothers me, because there's just no way. So see, so in this article here, it says Caitlin flew from Reno to Texas to meet with an unidentified man who lives in Midland. Again, unidentified doesn't make sense. It was confirmed he boarded the plane with her, so they definitely looked at this. They saw who this person was. I don't get... They must be, like, building a case against him or something to, like, not be releasing any of this information, because it's definitely known. When she was last seen was in Midland, Texas, and she actually called her family member, doesn't say who, I'm guessing the sister, from a Texas Walmart. So it is confirmed that she got on the plane and safely got off it in where she said her destination was going to be, but from there, like I said, it is unknown where Caitlin went. The first thing that, like, threw her sister off was that, like, she hadn't heard from her after, you know, that terrifying text, and then since that, no one's heard from her, no interaction on social media, nothing like that. And her and her sister were, like, really close, talked, like, all the time, so it's just, like, for her sister to just, like, stop talking to her like that out of nowhere, especially after that chilling text, like, that is just so unlike Caitlin, and is just, it's not okay. In Nevada, which is where we live, things like prostitution are legal, and stripping is legal, and things like that, and I think that because those things are legal here, that it does leave us with a higher, like, sex trafficking rate than a lot of other states. Not the highest, but it's pretty high, and especially where we live, we actually have quite a big problem with it. And I think that the reason those are connected is because they're, like, people come here and they see these girls, and, you know, they're obviously, like, very beautiful girls most of the time, and they almost see them as, like, an easier target because the girls are trying to be more friendly in order to, you know, make money, and so then the guys, like, take advantage of that friendliness and can take them away. I don't know what Caitlin's job was by any means. I tried contacting her sister and didn't get a reply back. She might not have just seen my message, because it's just kind of goes in that weird inbox. I don't know what she did. I don't know at all, but I do know that, you know, even I've been followed in a grocery store here, and, you know, it could happen to anyone at any point. And then if this man comes along and, you know, you're 19 and he seems so charming and stuff like that, like, in, you know, say this man wanted to pay for you to go somewhere, like, if he seemed nice enough, I almost think, like, why not? And that could be totally what happened. She was just like, oh, look, it's kind of like a free vacation almost. So I don't know. Like I said, there's no information on why she left with this man, how she met this man, but that's kind of what I'm thinking, is he was just like this guy, and either he was really charming about it and then got really scary really fast, which is why she, you know, sent that text to her sister. I don't know. I think it's just completely insane. I really hope that she's okay. On August 26th of this year, there was a lady in the Dallas area that was ringing a doorbell in the middle of the night, and it was caught on security. It went quite viral because they were trying to identify the young woman, and Caitlin's sister thought it was her, like, was super convinced, and, like, after, you know, learning about Caitlin and then watching the video again, like, I kind of agreed, because, like, Caitlin has a few different tattoos, and you could kind of see them in the video. Okay, so she has Libra scales on her right forearm, a little alien and an M tattoo on her left knuckles. Blonde hair, just like the lady in the photo. She was about 5'5" and 120 pounds. And Caitlin was, I guess, 1 or 2 months pregnant when she disappeared. And the lady in the photo looked like she could have had like a small bump going on. And at first I was like, oh my gosh, like that's totally it, that's what's happening. But like it turned out to not be Caitlin, and it was like some other girl that they had found like the next day, thank God, you know, so glad that she got out of that situation. But to think that that was Caitlin kind of didn't make sense either, because if she was already 1 or 2 months pregnant in January, then in the end of August, like she should have had her baby by then. And so like to see even, you know, and it was quite a small bump in the video, so it would like, that didn't make sense. You know, I didn't think about that. Others probably weren't really thinking about that. They're just like, oh, she was pregnant. And you know, too, like if she was pregnant, like she would have, you know, probably gone to like a hospital or something, you know, even if like she did end up having a miscarriage or, you know, something like that. And it's just, if she's alive and, you know, not being held captive, someone's seen her. Like there's just no way. Like she could have changed her name or something if she was trying to disappear. I don't know that she has reason to disappear, especially when she seemed like she was so close to at least, you know, like her sister. But it's like somebody has seen her, and I just don't know. There's just, even if she was being held captive, like this guy or whatever, like you don't just, it's so dangerous. And it's just like, what if something went wrong? And I just don't, I don't know. I just feel like being pregnant over this amount of time, you know, she would have a baby now if, you know, the pregnancy came through like healthy, and like you would have gone to doctor's appointments, been in a hospital, something. Like just, it doesn't make sense. Like Midland is not a very big town. It's about like 200,000 people or 150,000, I think. And the thing is though, is if you've ever been to Texas or live in Texas, like I have, there are small towns everywhere there. So it's like you drive through and like all the time you're hitting like another small town. So it's like any town in that area she could have really gone to. She could have gone to Dallas, which was only like 5 hours away, which, you know, like that's like the biggest city nearby, or El Paso is really nearby. The Mexican border was very close. So it's like, who knows what happened if this guy was into, you know, sex trafficking. It would have been very easy for him to get her to Mexico from Midland. It's not that far. And it would have, you know, that it's easier to get into Mexico than it is to get out. And it would have been easy for him to get her there. And if that was his goal, to sell her into sex slavery, it would have been done, and it would have been done rather easily. Like I said, if she is still in Texas and she is alive, my bets are she is on some security footage somewhere. And I am just kind of appalled almost that like nothing has come out from this. Like there is security footage, there is something. Like it just doesn't make sense. Like you know who the man is. It just, that bothers me. And it's like, I didn't even realize how much that bothered me until I started filming this. I was just like, oh, well, they should know. And I was just like, they should know. Why don't they know? Why aren't they saying something that doesn't make sense? If you have any information about Caitlin, her whereabouts, how she went missing, the man she was with, or anything like that, any tips, it is super important that you contact the Texas police or the police here in Reno, Nevada, and I'm sure they will pass it along. I will leave the phone numbers and the case number in the description box below for you guys. Caitlin is classified as a endangered missing adult. She was 19 years old at the time, but 20 currently. She is 5'5" and 120 pounds. She has a Libra tattoo on her right forearm and an M and a alien tattooed on her left knuckles. Caitlin has blonde hair and blue eyes, a bottom lip piercing, ears pierced multiple times, a philtrum piercing, and a tongue piercing and nose rings. Really, guys, somebody knows something. Like, people don't just disappear, and when people do, people know something, and I think people are really afraid to say something, and I hope that someone seeing this or hearing about her story just in general maybe triggers something if you're from that area. If you've seen something, if you've seen someone who looks like her, just report it, because if you could bring someone home safe, like, you know, that's just would be so incredible, and it's not going to hurt you to call a non-emergency line and be like, hey, I think I saw Caitlin Denison. If you know, are truly thinking you did, like, anything really would help her, and I'm sure her family would be really grateful for any tips or anything that comes in, and, you know, all they want to do is bring their daughter and sister and loved one home. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching today. Make sure you subscribe and like the video, and share this content in hopes that we can bring Caitlin home. Have a good one.